The essay opens in New York City, where the author, far from home, is immersed in a hectic day of publicity events. In the back of a cab, she glances out the window and is startled by a familiar burst of pale pink cherry blossoms or sakura. The sight instantly floods her with nostalgia. As she and her husband, Takumi, marvel at the trees lining the streets, their excitement seems misplaced to their American colleague, who dismisses them as just cherry blossoms. But for the author, the sight carries deep meaning, a link to childhood memories of Japan, of spring mornings and family picnics beneath falling petals. The fleeting glimpse of sakura awakens her sense of belonging and beauty. From this personal moment, she broadens her reflection into a meditation on the cultural and spiritual role of cherry blossoms in Japan. Every spring, meteorologists track the Sakura Zensen, the cherry blossom front, which moves northward across the country from Okinawa to Hokkaido. The blooms are so central to Japanese life that the meteorological agency uses specific sample trees to forecast their arrival. Families and friends, too, eagerly anticipate the first bloom, planning their hanami picnics as soon as the buds begin to swell. The author recalls the ubiquity of sakura imagery during springtime, cherry blossom-themed foods and sweets in supermarkets, pink-patterned kimonos and temple grounds glowing with petals. Beyond their beauty, the flowers represent centuries of Japanese history and artistic inspiration. They appear in ukiyo-e prints, no and kabuki theater, literature, and song. The Japanese language itself, she notes, abounds with poetic expressions inspired by the blossoms. Sakura fubuki, petal blizzards; haniakari, the soft glow of blossoms at night; and hanami, flower viewing, an age-old ritual of reverence. Tracing the historical evolution of this tradition, the author recalls how sakura first appeared in the Mani-oshu, Japan's oldest anthology of poetry, during the Nara period. Initially overshadowed by plum blossoms imported from China, sakura became the true emblem of Japanese identity and spirit. The first hanami was hosted by Emperor Saga in 812, combining poetry, music, and dance. Over the centuries, cherry blossoms came to symbolize not just beauty, but the transient nature of life itself, their brief 2-week bloom embodying both vitality and impermanence. In the Edo period, hanami became democratized when Shogun Yashamune ordered mass plantings of cherry trees along the Sumida River, making the once exclusive imperial ritual a celebration for everyone. This transformation, she observes, reflects a defining Japanese trait, the ability to find collective joy and meaning in simple, natural beauty. The author expresses gratitude that such traditions endure, spreading even beyond Japan's borders. She feels pride knowing that cherry trees gifted to Washington, D.C., still bloom each spring, symbolizing shared humanity and cross-cultural appreciation. Ultimately, she identifies why sakura move her so deeply. Their delicate pink hue fills her with warmth and tenderness, while their falling petals remind her of life's ephemeral beauty. To her, cherry blossoms are not just flowers but mirrors of existence, fragile, finite, and profoundly beautiful because of their impermanence. They offer a moment of reflection, inviting her to meteru, a Japanese verb meaning to love deeply and appreciate. This sets the tone for the rest of her meditation, an exploration of how each of Japan's 4 seasons embodies lessons in mindfulness, gratitude, and joy. Summary. The author's recollections of summer center around fireworks, or hanabi, which she associates with deep emotion and nostalgia. Growing up in Tokyo's Kondo ward, she eagerly anticipated the grand fireworks festival by the Arakawa River. As a child, her role was to claim a viewing spot during the day, later returning in the evening in her cotton yukata to join her family. As darkness fell and the first explosion illuminated the sky, she recalls being awed not merely by spectacle but by the artistry and tradition behind each firework. Japanese fireworks are unique in their spherical design and handcrafted precision, often requiring days or weeks to assemble. The sound itself, the booming reverberation echoing through the body, becomes an integral part of the sensory experience. For her, hanabi represents an ephemeral art form much like cherry blossoms, breathtaking in its impermanence, stirring emotions that linger long after the light fades. She describes summer in Japan as oppressively hot and humid, yet alive with sensory details: the sweet scent of evening earth, the cool touch of yukata fabric, the taste of ramune soda sealed with a glass marble. These textures and sensations, layered together, form what she calls a uniquely Japanese emotional experience. The author then reflects on the modern loss of joy in an age dominated by digital screens. While people today have unlimited access to images and experiences online, she observes that many have grown numb to genuine joy. Her method of tidying up, which she's become famous for, is rooted in physically engaging with one's surroundings, touching objects to sense whether they spark joy. She draws a parallel between this practice and attuning oneself to nature's rhythms. To truly feel alive, she insists, one must rediscover the wonder of simple, tangible moments like admiring fireworks or sakura, not through a screen but through direct, heartfelt experience. Even as technology transforms traditional arts, she finds comfort in knowing that Japanese fireworks continue to evolve with innovation, synchronized with music or accompanied by drone art. For her, their essence remains the same, a brief but transcendent reminder to look up, share awe, and feel connected to one another and the natural world. Autumn. Autumn, she writes, is the season of abundance and reflection, the most delicious of all seasons. Japanese people's passion for food, from convenience store snacks to elaborate kaiseki courses, reaches its height during the harvest months. Living in the United States, she felt a pang of loss realizing her daughters had grown unfamiliar with Japan's autumn delicacies. Determined to reconnect them with this cultural rhythm, she took them to Kyoto one fall where they savored matsutake mushrooms, charcoal-grilled sanma fish, and moon-viewing dumplings. This, she told them, is autumn in Japan. Through these culinary experiences, she rediscovers the spiritual value of seasonality, how foods that exist only briefly remind people to live in harmony with nature's cycles. She describes preparing kuri gohan chestnut rice, the painstaking process of peeling and cooking chestnuts, and the joy she feels when lifting the rice cooker lid to reveal golden kernels glistening amid steaming rice. Each bite, she says, carries the essence of the season itself. The author laments how in modern life, convenience and globalization have weakened humanity's connection to seasonal rhythms. Once people's survival depended on attuning themselves to nature. Now seasons are optional, flowers and fruits available year-round. But in ancient Japan, time itself was measured through nature's transformations, using the kureki, a lunisolar calendar that divided the year into 24 seki solar terms and 72 ko micro-seasons, each lasting just a few days. These micro-seasons, with names like rice ripens, crickets sing, and maple leaves turn yellow, poetically captured the subtle transitions of the natural world. Though Japan officially adopted the Western calendar in 1873, farmers, poets, and artists continued to follow the kureki, finding in it a more intimate connection to life's rhythms. The author, too, adopts this practice in spirit. She finds comfort in noting nature's signs, the chirping of crickets or the turning of leaves, as reminders to slow down. Unlike modern calendars filled with appointments and deadlines, the kureki calendar invites stillness, gratitude, and presence. By savoring seasonal foods mindfully and noticing each fleeting change, she rediscovers joy in the simple act of existing in harmony with time. Winter. Winter, for the author, turns her attention inward toward the home and the heart. Her favorite tradition is asoji, the Japanese year-end cleaning ritual. Rooted in ancient suzubare soot cleaning ceremonies from the Heian era, asoji carries both practical and spiritual significance, purifying one's home to welcome Tashigami, the god of the new year. She describes cleaning with reverence, thanking the front door for protecting her family, the kitchen for helping her cook, the bedroom for restful sleep. Her husband and children join in, turning the ritual into a shared act of love and renewal. For her, asoji is not just about tidiness but about gratitude, mindfulness, and the alignment of inner and outer order. She connects this practice to a broader philosophy of impermanence and appreciation. Just as the seasons follow cycles of growth and decay, so too do the objects in our lives. Each item, from a favorite book to a child's worn sneakers, has its lifespan, a period of service followed by a time to let go. Saying farewell to an object with gratitude, she believes, mirrors the way one should close a season with care and reflection. This ethos is encapsulated in the phrase oraim tadasha, meaning properly aligned folds, which describes both neatly folded garments and a well-ordered life. Folding clothes carefully, like tending to the changing seasons, reflects mindfulness and respect. As she concludes her meditation on the four seasons, the author confronts the threat of climate change, which has begun to blur the boundaries between them. The cherry blossom front has grown unpredictable, summers stretch longer, autumns vanish quickly. She warns that losing the subtle transitions of the seasons would be an immeasurable loss, not just to nature but to human sensibility itself. Yet she remains hopeful. Even amid uncertainty, she vows to continue cherishing the fleeting beauty of nature and the traditions that honor it. She invites readers to observe their own surroundings. What changes do you notice? What seasonal delights do you cherish? These small acts of awareness, she suggests, can transform how we perceive time, filling each day with quiet wonder and gratitude. Coda, the meaning of kawaii. In a final reflection, the author turns to another quintessential Japanese concept, kawaii. Like spark joy, it is a simple yet profound word that captures an instinctive, heartfelt reaction, a surge of affection, tenderness, or delight. Kawaii can describe the rosy cheeks of a baby, the softness of a kitten's paws, or even a perfectly designed object. It expresses warmth and connection, bridging aesthetic appreciation and emotional intimacy. Tracing its linguistic roots, she explains that kawaii derives from kau heiashi, meaning face aglow or blushed, an expression from the Heian period that described feelings of embarrassment, pity, or tenderness. Over time, it evolved into its modern sense of endearment, signifying the impulse to protect and cherish the small or delicate. For the author, kawaii is not mere cuteness. It is a philosophy of sensitivity, a way of recognizing and celebrating fragility, whether in a person, an object, or a fleeting moment in nature. In the same spirit that she adores cherry blossoms, fireworks, or the turning of the seasons, she embraces kawaii as an everyday expression of gratitude for life's gentle beauty. Conclusion. Through her meditations on spring, summer, autumn, and winter, the author weaves a narrative that is both personal and cultural, an ode to Japan's seasonal traditions and a call to rediscover joy through mindfulness. Whether marveling at sakura in a foreign city, savoring the taste of chestnut rice, or folding clothes with intention, she demonstrates that the act of noticing, of metaru, is itself a form of love. In a fast-paced, digital world that often blurs the boundaries of time and place, her reflections remind us that beauty, gratitude, and meaning can still be found in the turning of the seasons, in the cycles of life and decay, and in the simple, human capacity to pause and say, "How beautiful, how fleeting, how precious this moment is."